How's it going, YouTube? We are back with our third video of the series, where we're switching it up a little bit. Can't really get gameplay for you guys as of right now for this series, um, but I will eventually get gameplay of every class and add it to like a little montage, pure gameplay for you guys later on. But again, this is the third video of the series, so we're switching up a little bit. No gameplay, we're just going full detail, all the class. So when you jump into the brand new game, you understand what the abilities do, and you got a good understanding of what you need for each class. So today, we are looking at the Priest, which is the only healer class, well, technically only healer class in the game right now. So the Priest features are, it's ranged magic, you have healing and support, and double genres. Genres? Sure. Whatever you want to say. So they have Holy and Nemesis, which is Nemesis is just pretty much Shadow. As you see, difficulty level, it's lower down, so a little bit easier. Their magic and physical defense is pretty low, probably one of the lowest in the game right now. The HP is normal, about halfway, and their AP is pretty low. Again, they're not really good offensive. They can put out some decent damage for being Shadow, but you will not actually beat out Warrior, Mage, or Assassin in damage if you play the Shadow spec. But you can play it like a Shadow Priest in WoW, to where you do some damage and a little bit of healing. But today, we're just going to talk about the cards, go over them, and go from there. Maybe in another series, we'll do more in-depth card building, so we can show off specs, theorycraft, and whatnot. But today, again, the Priest, let's jump right into it. So the Priest here. This is the setup that I have. This is pretty basic forward besides this F and C. So we'll drag it off. Boom. This is your standard build that you have, that you start with. Pretty good healing build, I would say. Very low on the offensive. So when you get level 5, you'll unlock F. And when you get level 7, you'll get C unlock. 2 more spots there. So let's look at the talents and masteries for each spec. So Holy. Talent with high continuous recovery abilities. So this is your bread and butter for healing. Then you have, for the masteries, you have Grace. Successful Holy Lights, Masteries, probably saying that wrong, and Holy Wave cast can increase 8% heal receive effect for the affected friendly target. The effect lasts for 5 seconds and can stack up to 6 times. Also recovering health equal to 20% of the single healing amount for the caster, not included in self-healing. So it will boost the extra healing if you can continuously heal the same target. As you can see, you have the associated skills there. Again, this is all the spells that you start with for Grace. Then we have Oracle. Generate a shield of light that can absorb 242 points of damage for 15 seconds. Decrease the failure time of Shield of Faith, or fatigue time, excuse me, not failure, fatigue time of Shield of Faith for 15 seconds. When you have the Shield of Holy Light or Shield of Faith, 50% of the damage you take will be rebounded to the attacker. Again, here's the associated following skills for that. I'm not sure if you will have all of these at the start. You will have Holy Wave and you'll have Shield of Faith. Again, I've been playing, if you watch my Mage video, I've been playing recently, and I've been unlocking skills through the gem system, unlocking the packs, so I've gotten a lot of cards lately. Next up, we have Salvation Angel. This is the one you start with. This preloaded for you. Critical strikes with skill recovery, or skill recover 70% of the mana cost of the spell. Turns into a Salvation Angel upon death. The Salvation Angel exists for 7 seconds. Recovers 60% AP health for up to 5 allies within 20 yards per second. It can use most skills while cannot move. So it's pretty much you turn into like almost like an angel form, not true angel form. You just sit there and you're like phased out off the ground a little bit. You're immune to attack and damage, but you will be able to heal some of your allies. So it's almost like a saving grace type deal where you can, if you die, you can help your teammates out for that 7 seconds. And the blue numbers means you can upgrade it, so you have to get the abilities to upgrade it. All right, so our other talent is Nemesis. It is both damage and recovering abilities. So this is your more offensive, defensive style gameplay. So first up, for Nemesis, for the mastery, you have Echo of Souls. Successful Holy Shock and Divine Punishment cast can reduce the cast of Light of Artibition by 1/3, and the effect lasts for 10 seconds and can stack it to 3 times. Awesome. I'll have to, again, I have no clue, never played Priest, so this will be interesting for me to learn with you guys. As you can see, the associated spells for this, again, I'm not sure what it is stock since I have unlocked most of the skills. Up next, we have Light and Shadow, another Nemesis mastery. When your Light Shadow connects with the allied targets, their damage will be increased by 15%, and their damage taken will be decreased by 20%. So if anybody's played Overwatch, the Mercy ability, when you boost them, they gain a little damage buff, but they also get damage reduction, which is really cool. When your Light Shadow connects with the enemy target, their damage taken will be increased by 8%, and your damage will increase by 20%. So if you connect it with an enemy person on the team, then that means they do less damage and you do more damage, which is pretty cool. Increase the damage of Shadow Strike by 60%. If the target is hit by Shadow Strike, your movement speed will increase by 20% for 3 seconds. Again, associated skills. Shadow Chan is probably baseline, I'm guessing, I'm not sure. And Shadow Shock is I do not own yet. And lastly, Salvation Angel, again, same as Nemesis or same as Holy, excuse me. So we're not going to go back over that. All right, as you can see here, these are the Holy. We have a talent for Holy. Again, you can have only so many of the damage cards, the bonus cards, mastery. Of course, you can only have one mastery card. But again, this is all the abilities you can have. So we're going to go over these skills together with you guys. And like I said, some of these you guys might not have if you haven't been playing the game. I've unlocked them through the card system. So again, some of these might be different, but we'll go over all of them and whatnot. So Light Ball Combo is your general auto attack. Just like the mage one, on the 3rd hit, you get a little MP back. Holy Light, this is one that you come stocked with the healing build that they give you. Holy Light, your movement speed decreases by 50% while casting, but you restore allies HP by 400 or 242 on a 2-second channel time, 30-yard range. Pretty good. And then when you upgrade it, the healing will be more. Afterglow. This is another baseline. As you can see, it's on my R. Recovers 40 health for the friendly target per second and increases the target's received healing effect by 20% for 8 seconds. 3-second cooldown. So again, this is almost like a hot. This is a hot that you can put on the target, and then you want to keep it on the target, and then boost it with other healing abilities. And again, 3-second cooldown. You can always keep it up. You can put it on multiple people. Up next, we have Purify. Dispels 1 positive spell on an enemy target within 5 yards of the target area, and 1 negative spell on a friendly target. 4-second cooldown. So it's offensive, defensive, dispel in a little area. Pretty straightforward. Up next, we have Ossuary. Probably saying that wrong. That's fine. It's a channeled skill. Damage to an enemy up to 3 times within 2 seconds for 121 damage each time. But you can also use it defensively, so you have an offensive and defensive ability of it. Heals an ally up to 3 times within 2 seconds for 121. 5-second cooldown, 2-second channel time. Again, you don't get slowed while you use this, so if somebody's on you, you can channel on yourself, which is very good. That is baseline also. Holy Beacon is a spell that you unlock with the card system. Grants the friendly unit a beacon effect. Allowing the unit to receive 26% of the single healing amount when the priest heals other targets within 40 yards around the target, pretty much. So you put this on one person, you're healing somebody else. That person with this beacon will get healed too for 26%, which you have more cards, you can boost it up, and the effect will be greater. Up next, we have Holy Wave. Your moving speed decreases by 50% while casting, restores the HP of the nearest 4 allies, including yourself, within 30 yards by 121. So, big AoE heal, big-ish AoE heal. Only 1 second channel time for 28 mana. So it depends. You need to heal one person, you Holy Light. You can heal multiple one person, heal 4 people and yourself. It's pretty good for 5v5 or 3v3 if there's a bunch of people taking damage. It's about the same mana, 4 less mana, or 4 more mana than Holy Light for single target. Mercy Emblem is your PvP trinket. Removes all crowd control effects and increases healing effect. Increases 20% healing effect for 3 seconds. So you have the trinket real quick, boom, pop it off, you get a nice big heal off of that. Holy Nova causes a holy explosion around, dealing 80 damage up to 5 enemies within 10 yards, and recovers 161 health up to 5 friendly units in range. So, 2-second cooldown, big Holy Nova explosion. Big Holy Nova explosion. 50 mana, which is actually a lot of mana, so generally it's probably not going to be used that often. Up next, we got Star Power. Summon a meteor to fall down after 0.5 seconds to inflict 202 damage. Up to 5 enemies within within the area. Restore 181 health if hitting an enemy. A 9-second cooldown, 5-yard range AoE. So it's a little, if you're in a little choke point battleground, extra little burst damage, you got somebody CC'd in arena, and your priest playing a little offensive, you got a little offensive abilities, but you drop that down on somebody, hits them, does a little damage to everybody, and heals up your teammates. Shield of Faith. This is a baseline ability that you get. Provides a magic shield for allies for 12 seconds and absorbs 303 damage. Unit cannot get the same shield in 25 seconds. So again, if you have more than one priest, you probably don't want to keep using shields unless you're using on different people. But it is only a 6-second cooldown, so you cannot receive this shield again for 25 seconds unless you're under a different talent, which I think it's the Grace? No. Oracle. It's the shielding mastery one. So that's that. Pretty good. You can upgrade it so it lasts longer and absorb more damage. Sacred Field repels all enemies within 12 yards. 40-second cooldown. 12 yards surrounding knockback. Pretty good. Just a little knockback. Again, this is baseline, as you can see on my queue. Up next, we got Holy Land, another baseline ability that you get. Creates a Holy Land that exists for 6 seconds and recovers 80 health for allies in range per second. Excuse me, sorry, I'm having a hard time reading today. Again, 18-second cooldown, just drops a big AoE on the ground. Stand in it, you heal up. Anthem recites the healing anthem, recovering 60 health for all allies within 8 yards per second for 6 seconds on a 12-second cooldown. Again, little tiny heals, little AoE healings. Personally, I don't think this spell is going to be used very much. Maybe in Battlegrounds, if you plus it really high, you might be able to get it up to 100 per tick. Light Fairy releases a naughty light fairy toward the target direction that stuns the enemy hit for 1.5 seconds. The light fairy will fly to the next target if there are other enemies nearby. The light fairy can fly up to 6 times. If the same target can receive the bouncing effect up to 2 times. So if you guys play League of Legends, this is almost like a Fiddlesticks crow throwing the crow, but it's more of a skill shot. 45-second cooldown. You have to throw it at 16-yard range, but if you hit somebody with it, they're stunned and then they're going to bounce around. So in a big team fight, watch out. This is a sleeper right here. Up next, we have Salvation Wings. Protects the ally with angel wings for 5 seconds. Within the duration, the target will not die upon taking fatal damage and recovers 606 health instantly. The effect disappears immediately once triggered. 75-second cooldown and only costs 20 mana. So this is like your saving grace if you're person's about to die because they recover 600 health, which is a lot of health for, especially for a mage when you only have 2,900 health. So this, I could see this being used every 75 seconds. That's pretty good. Pretty good cooldown time for that. Up next, we have Silent Zone. Summons a land of silence for 3 seconds to freeze enemies within the area for 1.2 seconds. 30-second cooldown, 35 mana. Pretty straightforward. You throw like a little circle on the ground. It's almost like, again, League of Legends. We're referring to all different types of games to help you guys reference what it's going to be like. It throws it on the ground like Soraka silence on the ground, just like that. Up next, we got Heaven's Wings. Costs 20 mana on a 25-second cooldown and extends angel wings and flies towards the location of a friendly unit. So, again, your teammates on one side of the area with 25-yard range. You can target them. You're getting focused far away, and you need to get over to them and get away from the enemy. Boom, you can target an enemy, hit this button, hit Heaven Wings, boom, fly away. And they can't do anything about it. Up next, we got Prayer of Despair. Costs 30 mana. Desperately Prays, recovering equal health up to 40% of the max health. 60-second cooldown. So again, 40% health restored. 60-second cooldown seems a little bit long, but could save you later on. Up next, we're getting into the Nemesis tree. This one is Holy Shock. Costs 20 mana. Your moving speed decreases by 50% while casting, inflicts 181 points of damage to the target, and restores up to 5 allies' HP by 121 within 10 yards. It's a 1.5 second channel time, 30-yard range. So that's pretty cool. You get a little damage, but you can also heal your allies too. Up next, we have Divine Punishment. Costs 22 mana, deals 141 damage to the enemy target, and an additional 141 damage if the target is below 25% health. 3-second cooldown. So again, this is almost like an execute for priest, which is pretty cool. I didn't even know that because I haven't even gone through these spells, and I've gotten them. That's awesome. That could be useful, especially if you're an offensive style priest. Execute could definitely help out. Up next, we have Shadow Chain. Release a light ball to a specific direction. If the enemy is hit, a shadow chain that will inflict 60 damage per second will be generated. Weird wording. If an ally is hit with a light chain that will restore 60 HP per second will be generated. Again, bad wording. The effect will terminate if the target is 12 yards away from the caster. Oh, interesting. So with this, you can either chain an enemy where it takes damage, or you can chain an ally and heal him up. So with Nemesis, you can either be offensive or defensive. That's pretty cool. That could be useful too. Level that up to more damage. Only 3-second cooldown, and they have to be at 12 yards. Pretty cool. Divine Overload. Passive. Increase the healing damage amount of Light of Artibition by 30% while lengthening its cooldown by 6 seconds. Active. Next spell guarantees a critical strike. Okay. Just a little theory crafting here. You could probably use Divine Overload if you're playing offensive type of priest, where you Divine Overload and the person's health is under 25%. You pop this Divine Overload, hit this Divine Punishment, and that's going to be a guaranteed crit. So that's almost 300 damage execute right there. That's not that bad, especially if you level it up. Up next, we got Holy Prayer in the Nemesis tree. Devoutly pray up to 6 seconds, granting the blessings of the gods to 3 nearby allies, making them immune to all damage. Does not include yourself. 45-second cooldown. It's around you for 8 seconds, or around you for 8 yards, and you have to channel it for 6 seconds. Interesting. That could be useful if you think about it. If you're going into, you're going into a fight, and you pray real quick for 6 seconds. That's a long cast time. It's a long cast time, but it could be useful different situations. Here's the word I can't say. Light of Patrician? Sure, whatever. We'll go with that. Your movement speed decreases by 50% while casting. Restores allies' HP by 484. Or inflict 404 damage to an enemy. It's a 3-second channel time, but only costs 24 mana. So you can either do big damage or big heal. Not bad. It's a long cast time though, so I don't know how useful it will be. You have to find that niche style gameplay to put that in there. Up next, we have Blessing of Light. Turns into a holy light, becoming invincible and recovering 2% mana and 1% health per second for 4 seconds. Unable to use any skills within the duration. So, it seems like a little immune. Yeah, you're immune. You cover some health and mana, but you can't use any skills. 60-second cooldown. So if you're getting focused, you need like a oh crap button. This could work. I can see this working really well, especially for your nemesis. And lastly, we have some more spells that I have not unlocked. Again, I'll just hover over them for you guys. You can pause the video if you want to read them for yourself. Alright, those are all the priest cards for Holy Nemesis and all the masteries. Again, this is the basic setup that you get when you first start the game for priest. It's very straightforward in healing. Can't really do much offensive. The only offensive that you have is your 3. Does a little bit of damage. Again, we'll check out the costume. This is we'll remove the chest piece that I got. This is the base look of the priest. Pretty standard. You see the health, MP, physical, magical attack, the defenses, and so on and so forth. Again, you can get, if you watch the mage video, you get pieces of gear. It's all random. You can have different sets of gear, different looks of gear, and different stats of the gear. Again, you get helmet, body, and a weapon. I was lucky enough to open up one of my boxes and got this Shadow Guard armor, which increases my haste by 1% and changes my look a little bit. So now I have 101% haste instead of 100. Alright, guys, I want to thank you guys for tuning in for the priest look at all the skills, all the cards, all the masteries, and the costume and whatnot. Appreciate it, you guys, for tuning in. Our next video will be of the knight, the more defensive style knight. Excuse me, more defensive style player. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Again, we'll be doing more videos of this series to go in depth of each class. And be sure to look out for future videos of more gameplay of every single class during battlegrounds and arenas. So thank you, take care, have a good one.